There's something special about a quiet Midwest morning. The air smells like diesel and fresh-cut hay, and somewhere out there, an old tractor rumbles to life, steady, faithful, just like it did 50 years ago. These machines weren't built for show, they were built to last, and to sip fuel like a careful hand on a coffee cup. And trust me, the one sitting at number 1, you'll never forget. Number 7, the Allis-Chalmers D17. Out here in the heartland, when the morning mist still hangs over the field and the soil smells like yesterday's rain, you can almost hear it, that low, steady rumble of an Allis-Chalmers D17 coming to life. Built between 1957 and 1967, the D17 was more than just another orange tractor, it was the pride of countless farms across the Midwest. With around 63 horsepower under the hood, it had enough muscle to pull a 4-bottom plow, but still sipped fuel like it was precious. And for most farmers, it was. Its power-directed transmission was something special, a simple hand lever that let you shift between high and low range on the move. No clutch, no fuss, just pull the lever, feel that surge, and keep going. It made long days feel shorter, and tough jobs feel possible. The D17 wasn't built for comfort, it was built for work. You could feel every heartbeat of that engine through the steel seat, smell the diesel and warm oil mixing with the morning air. Yet there was a kind of beauty in that, the kind only a farmer would understand. Out on a dusty road, the D17 had a certain sound, not loud, not angry, just confident, that deep orange iron hum that said, "I'm here, and I'll get it done." It was a machine that worked with you, not against you. When the day ended and the sun dipped low, that tractor sat there covered in dust and pride, same as the man who drove it. Many of these machines are still running today, passed down from father to son, a piece of family history wrapped in steel and diesel. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't fast, but it was honest. Every turn of that crank, every hour on that seat, told a story about hard work, faith, and the land itself. For 10 solid years, the Allis-Chalmers D17 earned its place as one of the most reliable and fuel-efficient tractors ever made, a real workhorse of the American heartland. But the next tractor on our list, well, it didn't just work the fields, it changed the way farmers looked at power forever. Number 6, the Farmall 560. Out in the wide, open fields of the Midwest, when the wind rolls across rows of corn and the soil glows red under the evening sun, there's a sound that used to mean the day was just getting started, that deep, proud rumble of a Farmall 560. Built from 1958 to 1963, the 560 was International Harvester's leap into the modern age, a bold red machine with clean lines, stronger steel, and a heart that beat with over 66 horsepower. For its time, that was serious power. Yet, even with all that strength, it was known for being remarkably fuel efficient, especially the diesel version. It could plow, disc, or haul all day, and still leave enough diesel in the tank for tomorrow's chores. The 560 came with a 6-cylinder engine, smooth, steady, and full of torque. When it pulled, you could feel it dig deep into the earth, steady as a heartbeat. Many farmers remember that familiar hum echoing across their fields, the kind of sound that told you the work was getting done. It wasn't just a tractor, it was a statement. The 560 carried a new hydraulic system, better gearing, and a wider stance for stability. It looked confident sitting in the barnyard, that bright red paint catching the morning light, the big rear tires still dusted with last season's dirt. You could almost smell the diesel, the oil, and the iron all mixing together, the scent of an honest day's work. Sure, the 560 had a rough start. Early transmission issues gave it a reputation it didn't deserve. But International Harvester fixed the problem, and those who stuck with it never looked back. The later models ran strong, year after year, proof that farmers, just like their machines, learn, adapt, and keep going. Ask any old-timer and they'll tell you, the 560 wasn't just a tool. It was part of the family. A tractor that taught sons how to drive, plowed fields that fed generations, and stood out like a red banner of pride across the heartland. And even now, decades later, you can still find them at work, that same rumble rolling across the plains, still steady, still proud. But the tractor coming up next, It might not be the biggest or the loudest, yet it became the everyday workhorse every farmer could count on. Number 5. The Ford 3000. Out here, where the morning sun breaks over the hay fields and the air still carries that cool edge of dew, there's a sound that once meant the start of another honest day, the gentle chug-chug of a Ford 3000. Built from 1965 to 1975, the Ford 3000 was never the biggest tractor in the lineup, but it was one of the smartest. With about 47 horsepower, it struck the perfect balance between strength and thrift. It could pull a two-bottom plow, mow all afternoon, or haul a wagon of hay to the barn without ever seeming to struggle or guzzle fuel. For small and mid-sized farms across America, it was the definition of reliable. The heart of the 3000 was its 3-cylinder diesel engine, simple, steady, and tough as nails. Turn the key, give it a second, and you'd hear that familiar rumble come alive, smooth, confident, and ready to work. The throttle had that soft vibration through your hand, a reminder that you were in control of something honest, something that earned its keep every single day. Ford gave it modern updates for the time, power steering, improved hydraulics, a live PTO, things that made the job just a little easier for the man on the seat. The kind of progress you could feel in your back after 12 hours in the field. It didn't look fancy, just clean blue steel, white wheels, and a simple Ford badge that somehow said, "You can count on me." And count on it they did. The 3000 became a staple on dairy farms, cattle ranches, and small crop operations all across the Midwest. You'd see one parked next to a red barn, dusted with chaff, maybe with a little oil stain under the engine, proof that it had been out there earning its keep since sunup. It wasn't loud. It wasn't proud. It just worked. Day after day, year after year. Many of these tractors are still out there, working the same land their owners' fathers worked before them, the same land their sons and daughters will one day inherit. That kind of legacy isn't built in a factory, it's built in the field, one sunrise at a time. The Ford 3000 wasn't just fuel efficient, it was soul efficient. Every drop of diesel went straight into honest work. But the tractor waiting at number 4, now that one had power and attitude, the kind that made farmers stand a little taller when they climbed into the seat. Number 4, the International Harvester 1066. There are tractors that work the land, and then there are tractors that own it. The International Harvester 1066 was one of those. When you saw that big red hood cresting a hill at sunrise, with smoke curling up from the stack and the earth turning behind it, you knew someone meant business. Built from 1971 to 1976, the 1066 wasn't just strong, it was a legend. Its 414 cubic inch turbocharged diesel engine pushed out around 125 horsepower, making it one of the most powerful row crop tractors of its time. And yet, for all that muscle, it ran surprisingly efficient. That big engine didn't waste a drop, it turned diesel into raw, dependable power. You could feel it when you climbed into the cab, that faint vibration through the floor, the soft hiss of the turbo when you throttled up. Out in the field, pulling a heavy plow through dark Midwestern soil, the 1066 didn't whine or complain. It just dug in and pulled, steady as a freight train. The 1066 also marked a turning point for comfort and design. Farmers were spending longer hours in the seat, and International Harvester knew it. So they gave it a wide, roomy cab, with good visibility, easier controls, and a seat that actually cared about your back after 12 hours under the sun. The red paint gleamed like pride itself, the IH badge shining against the dust. But the 1066 wasn't just steel and horsepower, it was a symbol. A machine for the hard-working farmers who needed something they could trust day in, day out, through rain, drought, or mud up to the axles. You could hear that low, powerful rumble from half a mile away, a sound that turned heads and made neighbors nod with respect. Even today, many of these big reds are still running strong, outpulling tractors half their age. Farmers rebuild them, repaint them, and fire them up every spring, because when you've got something that good, you don't let it go. The International 1066 wasn't just reliable, it was a statement of pride, the heartbeat of a changing era in American farming. But the tractor coming up next, It's one that redefined versatility and became the green workhorse you could find on almost every farm road across the Midwest. Number 3. The John Deere 3020. When you think of the heartland, of golden fields stretching to the horizon and the sound of wind through the corn, chances are, somewhere in that picture, there's a John Deere 3020. Green and yellow, steady as the sunrise, a machine that defined what dependable really meant. Built from 1964 to 1972, the 3020 came from John Deere's legendary New Generation line, a time when tractors were becoming more powerful, more comfortable, and more efficient than ever before. Under that bright green hood sat a 68 horsepower engine, available in gas, LP, or diesel, but it was the diesel version that farmers swore by. It started easy, ran clean, and used fuel like a miser. One tank could last a long day in the field and then some. The 3020 had a sound of its own, that slow, rhythmic pop-pop-pop of the diesel under load, a sound that echoed across countless farms every harvest season. You'd feel that deep vibration through the floorboards as the tires dug into the dirt, the steering wheel warm under your hands, and the air around you filled with the faint smell of diesel and earth. It wasn't just reliable, it was comfortable. The side console design put every control right where it needed to be. The power steering was smooth, the hydraulic system was one of the best of its time, and that seat, simple as it looked, made 12-hour days feel almost easy. For many farmers, it was the first tractor that felt like it worked with you instead of against you. Out on the field, the 3020 didn't shout for attention, it just got the job done, day after day, year after year. Mowing, plowing, hauling, planting, whatever you asked, it answered. Its reputation for reliability wasn't earned overnight, it was built through decades of steady, faithful work. And maybe that's why so many of these old Deeres are still out there today, still idling in the morning light, still leaving tracks in the same soil they've known since the 60s. They've outlasted owners, outworked expectations, and outshined almost everything that came after. The John Deere 3020 wasn't just a tractor, it was a partner. A green symbol of pride and progress that helped shape the American farm for generations. But the tractor sitting at number 2, that one had something different, a quiet kind of strength that proved you didn't need size to make history. Number 2, the Massey Ferguson 35. Early in the morning, before the sun burns the mist off the pasture, you can almost picture it, a small gray and red Massey Ferguson 35 easing out of the barn. The engine hums low and steady, a puff of diesel breath rising in the cool air. It's not loud, not showy, just calm, dependable, like the farmer behind the wheel. Built from 1956 to 1964, the Massey Ferguson 35 was the tractor that proved bigger isn't always better. With about 37 horsepower, it wasn't made for the huge farms, it was made for the everyday working man, the dairyman, the hay grower, the small acre farmer who needed something tough, thrifty, and easy to handle. Under that red hood was the Perkins 3-cylinder diesel, one of the most fuel-efficient engines of its time. You could run all day on a single tank, and it never seemed to tire. The sound of that little Perkins engine was something special, a steady, confident rumble that matched the rhythm of the man guiding it down each row. The MF-35 was designed for simplicity. Everything was built to last. Heavy steel panels, strong axles, straightforward controls. The seat sat high enough to give a clear view of the field, and the gear shift felt solid in your hand, every movement deliberate, mechanical, real. No computers, no plastic, no nonsense. Just a machine built to work, and keep working. What made the 35 legendary wasn't just its reliability, it was how easy it was to live with. It started on cold mornings when others wouldn't. It sipped diesel instead of gulping it. It handled like a dream, light enough to weave through narrow barn lots but strong enough to pull its weight in the open field. And when something broke, which was rare, you could fix it yourself, right there in the dirt, with a wrench and a little know-how. Across the heartland, the MF-35 became part of the family. Fathers taught sons to drive on it. Daughters learned to rake hay or haul firewood with it. Decades later, many of those same machines still run, the paint faded, the metal worn smooth, but the heart of that little diesel still beats strong. The Massey Ferguson 35 was proof that dependability doesn't need to roar. Sometimes, it just hums along, steady and proud, year after year. But the tractor at number 1, oh, that one wasn't just reliable or efficient, it became a symbol of American farming itself. Number 1, the Oliver 1650. Sometimes, the best machines aren't the loudest or the biggest, they're the ones that just keep going. Out in the heart of the Midwest, where the fields roll to the horizon and the soil smells rich after a rain, one tractor earned a reputation that still echoes through generations, the Oliver 1650. Built between 1964 and 1969, the 1650 was the kind of tractor you could trust with your whole season. With about 70 horsepower and a rugged Waukesha-built diesel engine, it had strength to spare, but what made it truly special was how efficiently it used every drop of fuel. Farmers used to say, that Oliver sips diesel like it's counting the pennies for you. When you turned the key, that diesel would come to life with a slow, confident rumble, not harsh, just steady and strong. Out in the field, pulling a plow through dark soil or running a baler in the heat of July, you could feel its rhythm through the seat, like the heartbeat of the land itself. Smooth power, easy steering, and that unmistakable Oliver green shining against the dust of a long day's work. The 1650's hydropower drive was ahead of its time, a simple lever that let you shift on the go, no clutch needed. It gave the farmer control without slowing down, saving fuel and time when both were precious. It wasn't flashy engineering, it was smart engineering, built by people who knew what real work felt like. Inside the cab, it was all business. Steel dash, clear gauges, levers that felt solid in your hand, no frills, no nonsense. You didn't need comfort when the machine did its job so well. And the 1650 always did. Rain or shine, cold or dust storm, it started, it pulled, it finished. The kind of reliability that made farmers trust it more than some neighbors. Across the heartland, you'd see an Oliver 1650 sitting in the barn, still wearing the same faded green paint it had 50 years ago, a few dents, maybe, but still ready to work. Some of those tractors have seen 3 generations climb into that seat. And every time that engine fires up, it's not just steel coming to life, it's a story of endurance, pride, and the bond between man and machine. The Oliver 1650 wasn't just fuel efficient, it was soul efficient. Every drop of diesel turned into progress, every sunrise into purpose. And that's why, even today, farmers still say with a quiet smile, if you've ever owned an Oliver 1650, you never really let it go. Out here in the heartland, these tractors weren't just machines, they were partners. Through rain, heat, and time itself, they stood beside the men and women who fed a nation. Each rumble, each puff of diesel smoke, told a story of pride, patience, and honest work. These 7 machines proved that real strength isn't about size or shine, it's about lasting. About showing up, day after day, when the land calls your name. And you, what about you? Have you ever driven one of these legends? Which tractor carried your family through the seasons? Because out here, in the center of America, power doesn't just live in the engine, it lives in the hearts of those who drive them.